Bonjour, Financial Freedom Fest fam. What is happening? Bonjour, because I am in Paris, my people. That is one of the only French words that I actually know. A phrase that I have learned here is Je ne parle pas français, which means I don't speak French. Or parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? And everybody here speaks English, so it's been pretty great. If you can guess, today we're going to talk about traveling. And we're going to talk about my trip to Paris in specific and how I'm traveling here for a month and I plan to spend only around $5,000. Now, a lot of people say a month of traveling in Europe, $5,000. That does not seem like it's doable. A month, most people think, or $5,000, most people think I'll go there for a week, I'll go there for 2 weeks, but a month. And trust me, a month is actually way more cost effective and easier to do. Now, your daily rates, the daily things that you do may add up, but the big cost, which is where you're staying, you can actually get it to decrease. And as long as you're not trying to live a life of luxury while you're traveling and you can just make it part of your life, you can literally do this basically all the time if you are a remote worker, as long as you can manage your costs and make sure you're not spending way too much. So that's what I'm going to dive into today. I'm going to show you how I'm traveling Paris for a month and I plan to spend only around $5,000. So travel can be expensive. If you want to travel like a king and eat at all of the best restaurants and spend a ton of money, you can do that. And if you're in the financial position where you can do that every single day, then good for you. But my guess is if you're listening to the show, you might not be in that position where you can just go take these grand vacations and spend however much you want. You might be able to do that for a week, but we want to make this a lifestyle. We want to be able to do this whenever we want. We want to be able to stay out here for however long we want. So that's why we need to learn to be able to manage our expenses while we're traveling. And that also ties into your regular life, right? You need to be able to manage your expenses in your regular life. And then once you get to that point where you have a good idea, good picture of your money, then you can start doing things like this and taking trips and making sure that you're managing your expenses and doing this long term, staying for a month at a time instead of a week at a time. Staying for months will get you so much more value out of a place and so much more time and peace to be able to take it all in rather than rushing around from place to place. And I'll do an episode next week on that, on the benefits of going long term and what it really allows you to do and relax into an area. But for now, we're going to talk about this trip that I am on. Now, I am, just to preface this, I'm here solo. I got no kids. All I have is my dog with me. And Bella, come here. Bella, speak. Speak. Say hi. Say hi. Speak. Speak. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I got my dog with me, and she's actually part of the expenses, and I'll go over that here. So the main thing that you need to decide is, why do you really want to see a place? Do you want to see a place to go there and spend money and do all the expensive things? Then this episode is probably not for you. If you want to go there and see a place to see a place, seeing is free. You can look around and it's free to do that. You can walk around, see the place, explore the culture, learn new things, meet new people. All of them are free. And it's an amazing way to experience the culture of an area. And don't get me wrong, I still like to do things that involve spending money, but I place more value on the things that I do and the place that I'm at and the people that I'm with rather than the things that I get. And nature is most of the time free. So let's dig into my numbers. So my flight to Paris was only $252. a lot of people are like, "A flight to Paris from the US." I flew out of Newark. It's only a 7-hour flight, $252, and you can book that pretty regularly. I use an app called Skyscanner. Skyscanner is the best freaking app to find budget flights. It scans every single airline. Even if you're doing round trip, it could send you on Delta and it could take you back on French B. And that's what I flew is French B. You may have never heard of it. I really don't care what airline I'm flying. If I'm on a flight for 7 hours, like, I'm on the flight for 7 hours, and I got an upgraded seat. I got a big seat with legroom. Like, I'm chilling. Like, I'm not a snoob. I don't think you need to be about worrying about who you're flying. That's all just another status thing. "Oh, I fly Delta. Oh, I fly Qatar Airways only." Who gives a Who gives a damn? Come on. Grow up. Just fly whatever gets you there, man. Just like a car. You want to drive a really expensive car that costs you a lot of money and it takes you 3 miles? Or do you want to drive a car that makes economical sense, doesn't cost you a lot of money, and takes you 3 miles? Place to place, you get there, you're good. Grow up. So 252 so $252 for my flight to Paris. Now, my Airbnb, this is where the biggest cost savings come. Staying for a month plus monthly stays get you a big discount on Airbnb. I got a killer Airbnb. It's a loft apartment. I've got a rooftop deck that I can go out and chill on. I have a whole floor to myself. It's just me. It's not a hostel. It's nothing like that. For the month, $1,700. 31 days, $1,700. That's almost around $50 a day for my own place. So right there between flights and the apartment, it's right around 2,000, $1,950, but it's $2,000, let's call it. So then I've got, if I want to spend around $5,000, I have around 3,000 other dollars to do whatever I want with. Now, mind you, I'm not factoring in flights back because I'm staying here longer and I'm going to other places after this. I'm going to Barcelona, Amsterdam, and maybe one other place. So I'm not factoring in flights back, but you could factor in another $400 for that if you wanted to there. But anyway, to get to $5,000, I've got $3,000 left. That leaves me around $100 per day for 30 days. I also need to take out around $100 for my gym membership and yoga membership. So that puts me at around $2,800. And then I've got some pet expenses because I brought my dog. So her flight was free. I have her as a service dog. So she came on the flight with me, no costs. Food out here, I went to a store and I paid like $85 for a small bag of food. It's really good food. I could tell from her movements that she's loving the food, but it was very expensive. I could have gotten something much cheaper when I went to a dog store the next day. But you live and you learn, and now we know next time go to multiple dog stores and find the best food. We arrived like midday. I had been up for 23 hours and I just wanted to get to bed, but I needed to get my dog food. So I bought whatever I found. And then I also spent $100 to check my bag because the damn airline said my bag didn't fit. They told me to put it in the little container, and I went and I put my my carry-on bag in the little container, and it fit. It fit fine. Did I have to squeeze it and push it because it's a duffel bag and it had squishy things in it? Yeah, I did, but it fit. And they said you're not allowed to squeeze it or push it. So they made me pay $100. So now I'm down to $2,700, but I'm saying around $5,000. So I still call it, I need to spend around $100 a day to get to my. So here's a few quotes online of estimations of what you spend in Paris. Budget travelers can spend an average of $50 a day on the road. And that is for traveling around, that is for eating and doing attractions. Here's another quote. Past travelers have spent an average of $31 on meals, $34 on meals for the day, and $18 on local transportation. Now, for my story, I also fasted for the first week that I was here. That is a whole nother podcast that I'm going to dig into why I did that, how I did that, what it felt like, and what I experienced. So I actually didn't eat for my entire first week. The first day I came here, I ate, I don't know, 7 croissants and all these pastries and all this stuff. And I knew I needed to get my mind right. And fasting is one thing that got my mind right. And I started with a 2 day fast, and it honestly just transpired into a whole week. So didn't spend any money on food, but most people are no 99.98997,349. That's an exact number. Actually, I got that online. Are not going to do a 7 day fast when they get to Paris. I give myself $100 a day. So with $100 a day, that leaves me $50 for food a day and $50 for fun. I don't do like a lot of the things that you have to pay for around here. I mostly go around. So like that $50 a day really leaks into other areas, right? I'm going to Disneyland next week. I literally haven't paid for any attractions yet here. So if you call, I'm here, what, 10 days now? That is $50 a day. That's $500 that I have to spend. Disneyland is gonna cost me 150 bucks to go there, and that's okay because I haven't spent my money. So allocating $50 a day is good. You're not gonna spend it every day. Some days you're gonna spend more, some days you're gonna spend less, some days you won't spend anything. And now the same goes for food. So some days I'm just buying like groceries. My whole first week here, I didn't eat, but some days I'm just buying groceries, right? And I'm just eating fruit and doing my thing, cooking my food. And it's only going to cost me $20, $25, $30, especially if you're staying here for a month. You don't have to go out to eat every single night. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. You could go out to eat here every single night and spend less than $50 if you were watching yourself. But the way that I eat when I go out, I go to a restaurant. I know there's a lot of good restaurants here. I'm probably not going to come here again, so I might as well order like one of everything on the menu. And not one of everything, but one of everything that I want to try. If I want to try it, I'm going to get all of it. So I get everything. That's the way that I like to eat when I go out. So some days I'll spend $80, but the other days I spent $20 on groceries. So it all nets out to about $50 a day for travel, and or $50 a day for food and $50 a day for fun. So that's how I plan to do it. I don't get travel insurance. It's probably not, your insurance might actually have travel baked into it and allow for you to do that. I don't do it. I take risks. I don't know. I don't even know if my insurance cover coverage is it? I don't know if my insurance coverage is it. Covers it. I don't know if my insurance covers it. I don't know if my insurance coverage. I don't know if my insurance coverage covers it. Travel, that is. But that's okay. And if I ran into a big expense here, shit, that blows up my whole plan. But that's how I plan on doing it. That's how I like to do it. And I'm enjoying my time so far. So tune in next week. I'm going to go over a little bit of why solo travel is good for you. It can hop you out of routines, hop you out of habits. But for now, baby, it's the Financial Freedom Fast podcast. This is how to travel in Paris for a month for around $5,000. And why did I choose $5,000? Because I have a passive income around $7,000 right now. So that allows me a little bit of room of flexibility there. So I try to keep it around 5 grand. And when I'm home, I'm only spending around like 3,200, 3,500 a month. So it's not super hard to do that here. It's hard to do 3,200 a month here, but 5 grand, it works. So, peeps, appreciate you. Talk to you next week. Bye bye.